We'll now recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Farenthold, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Retzlaff, you testified that your $750 drug, nobody pays that. Some people get it for a penny, some people get it for $20. So I want to know, how much am I paying for that? Because the rest of that is either coming from the federal government in Medicare, Medicaid, state governments, or is coming from an insurance company that is being funded by the premiums that I pay, and hopefully will never need that drug. So, I mean, you make it sound like nobody's getting hurt by this, but everybody in this room is actually getting hurt by these prices, are they not?
So there are only 3,000 patients in the United States that are treated with Daraprim. 25% of them are covered by commercial insurance.
Right. So that's my insurance rates, which have gone greatly up under Obamacare.
So the overall impact in terms of the budget for any health care plan is very, very small.
All right, but you guys are potentially setting another trend in the industry. Buy these orphan drugs and jack up the price, or go and buy a generic manufacturer that's the only manufacturer of a generic drug, which brings me to the FDA. You know, you're saying you're getting down to 10 and 15 months, but you've basically created a 10 and 15-month monopoly for anybody who's a single source of a generic drug to do that kind of price increase and name their price for that drug. Is that not correct, Mr. Flanagan?
Can you ask the question a different way? Can you clarify, please?
All right, so the amount of time it takes the FDA to approve a generic drug manufacturer, that if there's only one manufacturer in the generic market, they've basically got the 15 months it takes, and I'm going to argue that number with you. They've got an exclusive ability to sell that drug for 15 months at $1 million a pill if they choose to do that.
Right.
So what takes so long to do this? I'm not an expert in what's involved in approving a place to manufacture drugs. I assume if you can manufacture XYZ drug in a place, you've got a clean facility, there are no roaches on the assembly line. If you want to add another product, why should it take 15 months to get that approved? I assume you can test whatever drug they make and see if it is what they say. What else is involved there? And why? And if they do screw up making it, 1-800-BAD-DRUG is going to bankrupt the company.
So basically, to review a generic drug, there's the scientific and technical review, bioequivalence, chemistry, manufacturing controls, stuff like that.
So how much of this is really necessary, and how much of it is regulations that are, what color is the toilet paper?
So the reason we have 88% prescription penetration in the United States is because when you or your family go to the pharmacy to get a generic drug, that you can be confident that it's the same as the brand. A review.
But why does it have to take 15 months? How difficult is it to get their output, analyze it, and see what it is? I can't believe that takes 15 months. The TSA can, in a matter of seconds, tell whether or not I've got an explosive in my bag by just swiping something on it. I mean, isn't there technology there that'll make it faster and better? Why aren't we using it? Every day you delay getting a competitor on the market is a day companies can screw the consumer. All right, so let me ask you one other question on your numbers before I was out of time. When Dr. Woodcock was testifying, my BS detector went off when she said, oh, we've got our number of applications way down. But she also mentioned that a great many of them were, and I think her words were, returned due to technical defect. So are you artificially decreasing your numbers in wait time as a result of somebody turning something in without a T dotted and or T crossed or I dotted?
No.
All right, so what are those, well, give me an example of what one of those technical defects was going to be. I mean, I see it with the VA all the time in the casework I do. Well, you don't have this piece of paper, you don't have that, you go to the back of the line. I mean, my fear is we've got a bureaucracy at work here that is costing the taxpayers money and the amount we have to reimburse Medicare and Medicaid for, and it's costing the insured money based on higher rates they have to pay for their premiums, and the taxpayers are having to pay in premium supplements under Obamacare.
Mr. Chairman, do I have time? Can I?
Yeah, you have the
His
time to
time's
answer.
expired,
I'm
but I
done
can
after this
answer.
question.
Please answer the question.
You asked for 2 examples. One example would be if the application doesn't show that the generic drug would be bioequivalent to the brand. So we want to make it sure it's going to work the same as the brand. Another example would be that if the facility it's manufactured in is substandard and can't produce a safe quality drug.
Again, the amount of time this takes is, I think, criminal, and add to that we've got a tort system with plenty of attorneys willing to go after any company that screws up even the slightest. This has got to be fixed.
Well,
Thank you. I yield back.
The gentleman makes a good point, and I plan to ask some further questions on this. But we'll